All right, we're excited to be joined now by Tony Kinkela, the Director of College Scouting for the Patriots. Tony, thanks for joining us here at the Combine. I know you're busy.
Shoot. Yeah, it's a great week, but great to be here. Appreciate you guys having me and look forward to it.
How many Combines is this for you?
This is number 17 for me.
17.
In all.
And
Yep.
do you still love it?
Yeah, I mean, I get to watch football for a living, so it's hard for that to get old.
How much?
Me at least.
I mean, I know you guys have done all the work with the scouting, and you get here and you get to do the medicals and all that, but is the most valuable part getting to sit down in a room with these guys and really get a sense of them?
Yeah, I would say so. It's, we do so much work, August, September through the season, into December, all-star games, things like that. And for a lot of these guys, it's our first opportunity to sit down with them and spend a little bit of time with them after hearing so much about them. So it's it's cool to hear their story in their words, and where they're from, and what they're about, and what they're excited for, and where they can grow, and just to kind of compare what we know about them, what we think we know about them, and then you get to hear it in their words.
Yeah.
Obviously, the team on the field has been in the Super Bowl, have had a great playoff run, but you guys have been working, on the college side, and it's not like you guys have been, 5 weeks behind, I'm sure. So can you just tell everybody what you guys have kind of been doing, going all the way back to the Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl, and all that kind of stuff?
January was a lot of fun, and it was a really unique experience. Obviously busy with the different all-star games, evaluating players on the field through practice and things like that, and getting an opportunity. We would get an opportunity to sit down with guys who went to those all-star games, and interview them too, and so spend some time with them. So it's another touch point. It's another opportunity to get with those guys. I say it was a unique experience. It was really cool because our college staff was together a lot of the month, and then obviously the success we were having as a team. We were all, as a college staff, we were all together. We had a room at the hotel we were in Orlando when we beat the Texans, and so that was a lot of fun. We were iced in Dallas for the East-West game, couldn't go anywhere. We were in a room together for, watching the Broncos game on TV, and so it was really cool. One, the excitement of what we were about to do. We were doing our work for the team on the college side. We weren't with the team. There's, a lot of times we're in one place, the team's in another. But to be all together as a college staff was really cool and really rewarding. All of the work we put in, all of the work the team puts in to realize that success and those sorts of things. So it was a lot of fun. Something I'll remember.
That is really cool. I figure you guys might not have been able to be there at all the playoff games that you're doing your work. So you guys at least got to watch it together and celebrate together. That's really cool.
Yep.
The other question I just wanted to ask you about was Elliot had mentioned yesterday that you guys were maybe a week behind in terms of the meetings on the draft side because you guys were in the Super Bowl. Good excuse.
Yeah.
And just what were those meetings like once you guys got home and were able to have them?
Yeah, great problems to have. We were supposed to start actually a week earlier, and then obviously had to push things back. So it was still really productive. It was just January and then into February. It felt like it was just one day to the next, just trying to keep your head above water in some sense. But our guys did a great job doing the work through the fall to be prepared. We had a good first round of meetings in December. We did kind of laid some of the groundwork on guys. Continued that through the All-Star games and then into February. And February is where we really like to get together, talk about the person, talk about the player, where we kind of see their fit for our team, where we see their value coming initially in the draft, and just get an initial kind of set for us before heading into the Combine and Pro Days and then into April as we head towards the draft.
You got great contributions from this year's rookie class. Were there any of those guys that made a real impression here at the Combine, maybe something that stood out to you?
The one guy, and I've got a lot of experience being out west for a lot of my career, right? Craig Woodson, he's a guy that I followed for a long time. Back to Cal, he's overcome some things, had a knee injury, overcame, and just really grew to respect who he was as a person first, the type of work ethic he had, the type of character he had, the type of leadership he had, the consistency, and I thought all of that showed, in his first year, the ability to play so many snaps for us, to continue to improve the playoff run. I thought he played really well down the stretch.
That's what I was going to just say. It's got to be really satisfying to see.
Yeah.
He played a lot of snaps and, was getting experience, but then it felt like down the stretch, he's making plays all over the place.
It's really, as a scout, as a personnel guy, it's really rewarding when those types of guys, taking Craig in the fourth round and to see it. To see him have the first year. Now we got to go build upon it, of course, and all those sorts of things. But can't say I was surprised just because of the type of person that Greg is.
Yeah.
You must have had an eye on Kyle Williams, I assume, too, being a Coug and all that.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Went to Washington State, so certainly pull for those guys, and it was really cool to see Kyle's growth in that last year at Washington State, and then in this year, and excited about what he's doing, where he's going, and what he's got a chance to do going forward too.
Yeah, I remember seeing him down at the Senior Bowl, and they go in alphabetical order in some of the drills, and he was always the last one in his line to go one-on-ones, and so but then you got to stay to the end, because he was doing some great things.
No
you
doubt.
mentioned building on last year and all that kind of stuff. Just wanted to ask you just generally about this year's draft class, and what do you kind of see as sort of the strengths of the class this year?
Yeah, every draft class is unique. Some years you're going to have better. You'll be better in different spots, and that's what I really enjoy about the process. Is it's a new year every year. I think there's a lot of intrigue and intriguing players at the edge position. Tackle, I would say it's still a little unsettled, but you got a lot of talent, and a lot of variation in terms of who the players are and their skill sets and their abilities. Wide receiver, you could kind of say the same thing. So, some talented guys, some bigger bodies, some smaller, quicker. Types of playmakers, but edge, I would say, definitely stands out as a player, as a position with, players with a lot of talent, a lot of ability to get after the passer, and so that's certainly exciting to dig into.
How much does it change from your perspective picking this low in the draft? I mean, are you guys, when you're at the top, it's all right, it's going to be one of these probably three guys. And now, Evan and I'm blasting mock drafts, all right, who are the guys that are kind of going to be in this area and who might fall through the cracks? I imagine you have to game that stuff out a lot.
Yeah, you do. There's so much out of your control. You've got 30 picks before you, and, obviously we can move around and do different things. But, there's going to be a number of players that we've watched, that we like, that we think are really good players that would help us, that we know are probably won't be there by the time we're making our first selection. Again, good problems to have. We're hoping to pick that, down in that range more often than not, certainly. But yeah, that's just it's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's probably not the word. It's just it is what it is. You just know it's going to be happening, and you have to adjust maybe. Who's going to be in play for you, and that continues to gain clarity, I would say, as we get closer into April and have a better idea of who's going to be there and who might be around when we're picking first.
The other thing that Elliott said when we were talking to him that I didn't think about, that he kind of shed some light on, was you guys were picking 36 last year in the second round. So even though it's you don't have that high pick in the first round, you still kind of had to scout this same cluster of players for 36. But does it change the fact that there's going to be a one next to the name still, and that it's a first round pick versus a second, or is it kind of the same thing?
No, I think it's the same thing, because whether it's our first pick or our second, you're trying to find good players who will contribute to your program and be good people and make good decisions and all those sorts of things. So whether it's your first, second, fourth, seventh pick, whatever it is, we're just trying to build a team of good people, of good players, guys who are going to contribute, be about the right things, and help us to continue to get better.
Yeah, one more for me. Just watching this team this year, it was we heard what play style Vrabel wanted for the team, and it just jumped off the field. And now it's when we come to these things and we're watching players and that's a Vrabel guy. These are guys who just play with their hair on fire. Yep. It seems like from a scouting perspective, it's very clearly defined from the top what you guys are looking for.
Yeah, Coach Vrabel's been awesome, and his staff has been great, really good people to work for. The clarity they provide, the types of, the people that they want to be about. I think that showed in our team this year. It's just, Coach Vrabel and just the identity that he sets and that he demands in our program is awesome. It helps our job as scouts to understand what we want to be about. Obviously, you want to evaluate every player for who they are. But yeah, you do see those types of guys, and they stand out and say, I really like that guy. He'd fit well with us.
Yeah, I just a continuity, kind of piggybacking off of that. Coach McDaniel's going to be back as the OC. Zach Korb now the defensive coordinator. How much does that help now to have the same exact coaching staff 2 years in a row along those same lines? Yeah,
in my opinion, it's big. And again, just building relationships with our staff. We're a lot of times running parallel of each other, right? Coaches are knee deep in the season with the team and with the players and week to week and all those sorts of things, while we're off and visiting different places across the country and doing our thing. And so it's fun for me to come together, get an opportunity to be around these guys a little bit more, the coaching staff, work with them, because they do so much for us throughout the year. We really appreciate their perspective. It's good to hear what they think about the groups and players and things like that. And so just excited to dig in with them. It's great to be able to get to know them on a more personal level for a second year. And the better we know each other, I think the better we're going to work together.
Just a great group of guys that come too. Like we've get 10, 15 minutes with them once a week, but they're all just great guys.
Yeah.
And I think that this is one of the best, easiest to talk to coaching staffs that we've worked with, which is really cool.
It's been a great group. Yeah, just continue to be more and more excited about who we are, what we want to be about, and the direction we're going, and it's on us to continue to do the work to try and get there.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, Tony, thank you so much for taking the time.
We really appreciate
thanks,
it.
I really appreciate it. This was fun. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it, guys.
Anytime.
Yep.
That's Tony Kinkela. Thanks, everybody.